morning, beloveds, as I fuss with the camera angle. I started to fuss with the camera angle and then almost knocked the camera over. So, all right. I haven't gone back to check and see if my phone will work again. I'm kind of content doing it on the iPad. The print's bigger. But it is March 1st. I remember there used to be, wasn't there an old saw of March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb, and then April showers bring May flowers? Yeah, I don't know, because it's a little chilly out there. I don't actually know what the temperature is. I haven't been outside yet because Friday's my rest day. It doesn't seem very liony. I don't know. Not that I want to speak that into existence, so let's not go there. I did enjoy the cool bump that we had. Apparently it's going to be 80, 82 all week with the lows in the 60s, which I can handle. I think it's a bit early, but next weekend, next Saturday, I don't know. You may get this one at night next Saturday because we have other plans, and not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. And so, yeah. But it looks like the temperature's going to be really nice for that. So, all right. I see something on my shoulder, but I can't see what it is. All right. It is March 1st. Our title is Developing Our Faculties. Our author is Myrtle Fillmore. And this is Letters of Myrtle Fillmore from 1936. And obviously this is Unity. The Fillmores are Unity. I don't know that all the Fillmores are, but pretty much every reading that we've done that has had Fillmore in the name has been Unity. So, all right, developing our faculties. The only way to abide in cosmic consciousness is to develop Christ consciousness, the abiding realization of oneness with God mind and of its ideas as directing all of the faculties in fulfilling the divine purpose in being. All true followers of Jesus Christ are required to discipline the human self in the journey from personal to the Christ consciousness. The human part of us wants to cling to things visible and to other people, but as the impersonal spiritual Christ finds expression, we gradually cease to lean upon these material limitations. Our spiritual faculties become so strong, vital, and substantial that we are able to contact the great invisible through them. When these faculties are well developed, the invisible reality becomes to us even more real and substantial and enduring than the material things are to the senses. We study God as mind and people as mind, and we find that in the expression of the divine ideas, people have definite centers of consciousness, which the soul has built through its effort to use divine ideas or qualities of being. We have found that there are 12 central or basic centers of consciousness, which are the result of the soul's use of the God qualities of life, love, wisdom, power, and substance. These centers of consciousness are centers of God mind, but they have built the physical organism through which they express. We have 12 locations in the body where the soul expresses definite qualities which go to make up the Christ consciousness. At least we term it Christ consciousness when the individual is expressing themselves under the divine law. Developing these latent powers and capacities of the inner person is the key that will open us to the kingdom and give us Christ mastery. When we do this, we shall succeed in whatever we undertake. All right. So that was page 70 and 80. Kind of makes me want to go and buy the book, because I want to know what the 12 locations are. And there's a little bit of a focus on 12. And I don't know if Myrtle came up with that, or because she was a student of Emma, she got it from Emma. She probably got it from Emma. because Emma's a big believer in 12. Like she had 12 lessons and 12 stones and 12 this and that and the other. And I think it related to something about the 12 gates of Jerusalem. So 12 is a big thing. But when I was reading it kind of in the middle, where she was talking about leaning on the limitations, Myrtle is not telling us not to, engage with people and lean on people and do all of that. She's not saying that. Okay, I want to just make that clear. She's like, what she's reminding us is that the so we can go back to the seen and the unseen. It's like when we look around, all of this looks concrete, right? And yet it's not. The world is not concrete. We just view it as concrete. If we could look at it on the molecular level or even the micromolecular level and get, there's a whole lot of space. There's a whole lot of space. Like we are, I almost want to say 98% nothing, 98% nothing. But we feel ourselves as real. And so when we do that work, when we do the spiritual work, when we engage with the Christ consciousness and exercise it like muscles, like we do, muscles and how we help the muscles grow. So we engage with the Christ consciousness and cause that to strengthen within us, then the unseen realm becomes more real to us and more concrete to us, although it's not concrete, so that may be not quite the best word, like the material realm is, okay? Because honestly, the material realm looks concrete and yet is not. The material realm is in constant flux and in constant change. And like I said, we're like, if you could see us on the molecular level, like not even the molecular level, if you could break us down into our parts. I remember my joke about electrons dancing. Okay. We're 98% nothing but space. We are the space between the electrons. And so that is what we are engaging in. So when we exercise the Christ consciousness, we become aware of the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm becomes more real to us because we are, one, acknowledging it and two, engaging with it. So the spiritual realm definitely has a whole different connotation to us, but it's hard to describe. And so that's where we can get into that. Anybody who's had a mystical experience, it's really hard to articulate a mystical experience because there's not language for it. Somewhat with the Christ consciousness, when we engage with the spiritual realm, it's definitely mystical, and it is much harder to articulate because we don't have the language for it. And that's one of the reasons why spirituality is so individual. Like, we come together as communities because we've all had these experiences, and we can talk about them on a surface level, and so we all understand that we've all experienced something, but each experience is individual. When you lead like guided meditations and then try and talk about them afterwards, like everybody went on the same journey, but everybody saw something different. Everybody got different messages, and that's what makes spirituality so incredible. And when you can blend spirituality and religion, that's, you can make for a very powerful experience for people. Unfortunately, a lot of religions don't encourage spirituality. They encourage obedience. Yeah, well, science of mind is not great with obedience, so here we are. So, so developing our faculties. I do kind of want the book. Like, I'm going to go look the book up and see if I can order it because, oh my goodness, that's just interesting. We study God as mind and people as mind, and we find that in the expression of the divine ideas, people have definite centers of consciousness, which the soul has built through the effort to use the divine ideas or qualities of being. All right. So you definitely exist in the mind of God. You definitely exist in the mind of God. And it's what allows us to exist in the material realm. And the interesting thing is that because we exist in the mind of God, and the mind of God is not bound by time and space, when we cease to exist in the material realm, we don't cease to exist because we still exist in the mind of God. Let's see. All true followers of Jesus Christ are required to discipline the human self in the journey from the personal to the Christ consciousness. Yeah, Science of Mind is big on discipline. Ernest was big on discipline. Okay, let's see. Okay, these centers of consciousness are centers of God-mind, but they have built the physical organism through which they express. That's what we are. So what we want to do is not get so caught up in the physical expression that we forget the divine expression that we are. So, all right. This is one of those topics that I could go on and on and on about. But I'm really curious about the 12. So I'm going to commend to you Letters of Mildred Fillmore. You might want to look into that. And then we can all find out what the 12 centers of consciousness are and where they reside in the body, because now I'm curious. And I'm going to tell you that the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to develop the Christ consciousness, as defined by the abiding realization of oneness with the God mind and its ideas as directing all of the faculties in fulfilling the divine purpose in being. The good news is the divine purpose in being is exactly that, being. If you could be said to have a purpose, it is to express. Okay? Your life is the gift from God. What you do with your life is the gift back to God. Okay? You weren't put on this earth to do anything other than express. How you choose to do that, that's between you and the source of your own being. And if that is a terrifying prospect, I'm sorry. Come find a community. Come find a community. And we'll talk about that. Because that's the point of spiritual communities. That's the point of spiritual homes. It's like if our purpose is to express, then how do I do that? Well, come find a community and talk about it. All right. So that is the mission today, to exercise the Christ consciousness, to grow in the Christ consciousness. And I would tell you, every living thing has a Christ consciousness. They do. They just may call it something else. And I'm okay with that. So feel free to define your terms and use the words that mean the most to you. So, in the Buddhist religion, they would call it the Buddha consciousness. I'm curious to know what they would call it in Islam, and then in the Hindu, they would probably call it the Brahman consciousness, but I could be wrong. So, yeah. And then, I wonder what they would call it in, okay. In the Jewish sect, what they would call the consciousness that we're talking about. Okay. All right. So, I might have to go digging around and look at, I can dig up some people and say, hey, what would you call this? All right. You have your mission today. I'm just being curious now. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Big, small, doesn't matter. Point is to practice on yourself. All right. Be it one thing, be it three things, be it all the things. The end goal is to make everything that you do for yourself loving, kind, and compassionate. I want you to practice on yourself because you are your own best test subject. In the end, like I said, the goal is that to allow everything that you do to be loving, kind, and compassionate. But the most important part, you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. I want to make that abundantly clear, okay? You deserve your own love, kindness, and compassion. So, let me move on to reminding you, what am I talking about? What is loving, kind, and compassionate? One, take a deep breath before you speak. Allow yourself a chance to respond rather than react. Especially when I say when you speak, but in anything, when you respond rather than react, you are responding with who you really are, not who you've been taught to be. That's the difference between a response and a react. So never beat yourself up for your first thought. Take a look at that first thought and go, maybe I need to do some work there. Your first thought can show you where your work needs to be done. And it's much easier not to say something that you didn't mean than to have to make amends for it. So there's that. I would like to remind you also that as my brain shorts out, take a walk, take a nap, take a break. It's Friday. And it's been a heck of a week, and I'm facing quite a bit of work today. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm kind of excited about it. So, and we'll get it done. We'll get it done. It's only 10 boxes. Yeah, big boxes, but 10 boxes. Take a walk, take a nap, take a break. Literally, go get your blood moving, get your muscles warmed up, get your oxygen flowing. But it also can be walk into a new situation or walk away from a situation or just take a break and walk away for a minute. Metaphorically and literally. Okay? Take a nap. It is the you know how with electronics you turn them off then turn them back on again? Same thing. Same idea. That's what a nap is. That's what sleep is. Turn yourself off, turn yourself back on again. Almost anything can be solved, or at least the start of the solution can be go take a nap. And then take a break. It's literally about perspective. Sometimes when we hit the wall, we just need to go do something else for a little while. Let whatever it is rest. Go do something else for a while, and then we can come back and pick it up. Or we might decide, you know what? Not my problem anymore. So there's that. Okay. I also want to remind you, I like to say eat dessert first. And I do literally mean it. Occasionally, it's nice to eat dessert first. You know, sometimes we should have ice cream for breakfast or cake for breakfast, you know? Not every day, but sometimes. But it's also a reminder not to save the good stuff, okay? Your life is a special occasion. Please treat it as such. Burn the nice candles now. Wear the nice clothes now. Write in the nice notebooks now. Use the fancy markers now. Don't wait for that special occasion. Make the occasion special. You have the power to take an ordinary day and make it extraordinary. Please do so occasionally. All right? And the same thing with what I like to remind you is joy is a quality of God. Like if you watch the news is going to convince you that the world is crazy. Okay? Then you walk out your front door and go, nope, the world is not crazy. Parts of it are. So, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you still deserve joy. Okay? Please make room for joy. One of my joys is currently upside down next to me. Oh, yes. It's a little warmer in the house, so he's a little more stretched out. But yesterday, all of the cats were cinnamon rolls. They were curled up tight, and they had their noses tucked up under their tails. So, they're spoiled. They're southern cats. They're not used to the cold. All right, beloveds. So, where was I? Oh, I guess I'm at the rest of the suggestions. Do something to engage your mind and your body. Unless today is your day of rest, you do need at least one of those in the week. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better, your body works better, your skin looks better when you are well hydrated. Get that early in your morning bright light. I'm definitely leaning into the artificial light this morning because I did not go outside, and it's kind of cloudy anyway. It's been cloudy all week. They said it might rain yesterday. It didn't rain. It was just cloudy, but that's okay. So, it is 5 to 10 minutes of bright light as soon as you wake, as early as you can after you wake up. It will help to reset your circadian rhythms, okay? This is about physical health and mental health. I'm here for both, okay? And if the light in your house is not giving you the support you need, Google sun lamp or seasonal effect disorder lights. They are not expensive. Don't spend a whole lot of money, okay? And then I'm on to the Ernest Holmes quote. Not that I don't quote Ernest Holmes all the time, because, you know, that's what we're here for, right? He said so many interesting things. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time, okay? And that quote should rock us back on our heels, okay? It should remind us that it's all God's stuff. If you break us down into our most fundamental parts, it's all God's stuff. Because we're all made of the same stuff. And that's just really cool. I mean, you're made of the same stuff that stars are made up of, that the sun is made up of, in different quantities. So, you are literally star stuff. But it also reminds me that heaven is not a place per se, or as Ernest said, heaven is not a locality. It's not a place we have to get to. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. Once we learn to create the state of consciousness, which is a state of grace, okay, because it is granted to us, we just have to practice it. Then once we learn to create that, nobody can take it away from us. Like, that's part of that Christ consciousness I was talking about. It's a skill set. Once you learn to create it for yourself, any place can become heaven. And then it moves from a skill to a superpower. Who wouldn't want that? Also, the value of community. When you meet people who know how to create that heavenly consciousness, you can trade tips. All right. Where was I going with this? Oh, I'm going to remind you one of the best ways to start. Emma Curtis Hopkins, look for the good and praise it. Look for the good and praise it. It is wonderful and good. So, all right. Where was I? Yes, no, maybe. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I commend them to you. There are hours of content on the YouTube channels, pretty much anything you would need, and they're sorted into playlists. So if you want to see what I've been up to since March of 2020, you know, there you go. There's 4 years of material up there and almost 5 complete books, which means I need to get on the stick and start looking for a new 365. All right. If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact, and that will get you, what was it? That will get you, 1 email a week. It's a real person doing it, and he ain't got time for more than that. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm going to wrap this up now. By encouraging you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A exercise your Christ consciousness day, a know who you are day, a make a well-worn path to the source of your own being day, a Friday, a wrap your week up day, a finish it strong day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved child of God, or the other expression I love is you are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. All right, beloveds, know the truth of your being, okay? Peel back the layers of everything you've been told and get to know the person that the divine knows you to be. Because I can promise you one thing. The person the divine knows you to be is good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.